Hey, Good Fox here. I've got a video on Antonio Brown's gameplay here. So I got a couple games in with this card, and we'll review it during the game. It's a pretty good card. We got all the Steelers here to get his Pittsburgh chem to tier 2. We'll scroll down here to show it. He's a 98 overall, fully chemmed. You can see the pit chems actually pretty darn good. It adds speed, a couple elusive points, route, throw accuracy medium, and deep. You got 3 points there between those two, really for Roethlisberger, and it doesn't help the rest. But the rest of the stats kind of help everybody. Like having the extra speed on guards and center helps, and that's Foster. We'll get to that in a little bit. That's his issue. But an extra 1 speed on running backs, wide receivers, probably the best boost you can give to any card. These are stat boosts, not like identified playmaker type boosts. Probably the best boost you can get of any card. All right, so we're comparing him to Deion Sanders. We did a little bit of this comparison earlier in my other video to Rice and his other Antonio Brown. Is Antonio Brown controversy out there? The 93 fully chemmed is similar, if not, basically the same card or better than this other one. They do have very different stats. This one gets 99 route running, 92 catch in traffic. It's a little lower than I'd like. The route running is definitely Antonio Brown, though. Jumping's only 83. That's too bad. Elusiveness, 94. Man, he is slippery. I feel like that should be a little bit higher. But, I'm not going to sit here and second-guess EA Madden devs anymore. Spec catch, 93. Lord knows I do enough of that. That got boosted to the 93 spec catch. Again, not a top-tier spec catcher because he's only 5'10". He'll get animations. He'll come down with the ball. We really want him to, come down with the ball and hang on to it when he's taking a hit over the middle. More of a slot receiver in my mind. That's why he's at my number 3. And let's go through this milestone bell. I've used the 94 bell, but never the 95. You got an extra speed, and then it says 91 speed there, but it's actually 92 with the boost. So let's compare him to McCoy here. Kind of similar, the high elusiveness on both of them. Bell's up to 95 elusiveness with his chemistry, so he'll run very similarly to the 94. But I think I'm a little excited to use that card again because I really like that 94. It was great, amazing, underrated the pass block. Here we're looking at Ramon Foster, 95 run block, 94 pass block. Not bad at all with his boosts. So I actually kind of like that card. The only issue is if you ever pull him, don't expect him to get there. He'll need to take a taxi to get to the edge of the defense. Pouncey, though, 91, not too bad on those stats for center. But that's the sacrifice we had to make. There isn't a great other pick chem unless you had lower end Roethlisberger. But there they are, the 2 Steelers on my side going against a couple of the players. Quarterback, they 93s. Nothing crazy that we're going against, but pretty good opponent. You'll see during this game. What I'm going to do is nobody wants to see his offense, so I'm going to show like scoring plays here. He just drove down the field and threw a high ball. All right, congratulations. Yep, 7-0. I got the ball back, and we only want to see my offense. That's why I cut his defense, or cut his offense, my defense out of it. So you're going to miss some plays there, but here we are looking right, left. At this point, I'm like, oh, why did I throw it to Johnson? Should have thrown it to Brown. So you're going to see me target Brown quite a bit, and Bell, run a little bit up there. And, you see that Bell hesitation? That's just like him in real life. That's so patient. I know the announcers really talk about that. And in traffic, hangs onto it. Attaway Antonio in the slot there. You can see the star underneath his name there on the left. Going for the deep corner. Throw it to Moss, and what? Moss drops it. Moss has been dropping a lot for me lately. Making the impossible catches, but dropping a bunch. All right. Antonio Brown over the middle again. Catching the ball, taking the hit. Picking up the first down, driving well, targeting Brown there, back to the post. He's manned up, seeing nothing, and maybe we could have gone to B there. It was the last second. Raiders was clicking that B is open. I was like, oh no. But there's Bell driving down for a couple extra yards. I guess we could talk about Brown here. What's great about this Brown card, as he gets smashed but gets the touchdown. What's great about this Brown card is his traits. Say what you will about his stats, they aren't the greatest. But the clutch trait, yes. Fights for extra yards, yes. Makes rack catches, yes. Drops open passes, no. High motor, yes. Covers ball, brace versus medium hitters. Okay, we'll take that. Nice pick. Makes aggressive catches, yes. Position catches, yes. Sideline catches, yes. Penalty, normal. He is the perfectly traded wide receiver in the game. And, some people argue the definition of this guy I'm going against is sending this cover 2 blitz. And it looks like the way I pick it up as we go deep down the sidelines where the cover 2 is vulnerable is by right there. It actually picked it up, shifting away from it. So it didn't look like maybe he didn't set up the blitz well enough. There's Bell doing a little shake shimmy as he sheds the tackle, but not able to take it out. Anyways, so adding extra speed onto this card really helps it. It does separate it a little bit from the 93 Chem Master card. Speed is so important as Bell goes and cuts him. And like I said, Bell's underrated stat is his pass blocking, which is why I love this card so much, because he just cuts down that cover too. There's Antonio in the corner for the touchdown. See how much separation he got against man coverage with cover 2 defense. Looks like that cover 2 is shaded underneath, so we didn't have anything to worry about there. Here we're going to audible, see what we can get here. Block this blitz. It didn't look like it was going to get it too well on the wham. There we go. What do we see? Wham, bam. Thank you, man. Throw it to Antonio. That time was broken up. Couldn't catch in traffic there. In the middle of a spec catch, you know, he hit the knockdown button. So, if you believe in traits, Antonio's the perfect card. The only issue with him is he's not tall. 5'10" doesn't lead to, like, great posts or corner routes. Like, these are amazing routes and separation against man coverage. But that's, what is that, against Wagner or something? Or a linebacker? Buchanan, maybe? So, his competition ain't great there, but I guess that's the big thing you kind of got to get over. He's wonderful on drags. He's got good elusiveness, good with the ball in his hand, good catching the ball, but he won't go up and grab it, you know, kind of get those glitchy Y animations, kind of like the rocket catch you see oftentimes. You need to get lucky on them. But he will come down with the ball. He makes every single type of aggressive catch. See, I don't know what, as 4 seconds remain in the clock, and I'm just going to take the field goal here. Yeah, I don't know what. So, aggressive catches, possession catches, sideline catches. No, well, the first two. Aggressive catches, possession catches, rat catches. That's yes for everything. What's he's going to default to? Like the best one? We don't know if Madden knows what the best catches for each situation. Like, oftentimes guys go down when they don't need to, or racket when you want them to possession catch it. So, like, do you trust the Madden AI to, like, do the possession catch of the rat catch? Oh, that was a funky animation if you take a possession catch while you're getting hit. This was a poorly designed play. Right, the levels. I didn't get the levels concept right. Couldn't suck them up, and let's just throw the ball away. I could have scrambled for a couple yards, true, but I do like playing it safe. All right, nothing here, and we will take that scramble for 10 yards. So let me know what you guys think about this Antonio Brown card. I know we've discussed it earlier in the comments. This is some gameplay of it, but I think it played really well for me. You're going to see the stats at the end. Amazing eye-popping stats. He played well. I like the card a lot. He's going for like 550. I think he'll go down a little bit the second day. You know, this is his first day. Shout out to Sahara Joe for letting me borrow. Sorry for not saying that earlier. I said that earlier in the video. Sahara Joe, the mod of the Mutt subreddit. There he is, getting separation from his man. I mean, that's just amazing separation. That one was against Wagner, and I remember that one now. But so he is separating against a linebacker with, what, high 80s speed. There's just a bad read. I should have thrown that earlier. His user came by and picked it. Didn't stick with the drag as long as I hoped, or just should have thrown that quicker. But anyways, crossing across the middle of the field, Graham is not good at catching those high passes and taking a hit. Really probably one of the worst that I've seen do that. I think like Newsom's better at catching those high passes and holding on to them than Graham is. Here's another deep out route to Brown. We'll see if this happens. All right, and the 4-3, that 3-4 blitz actually got home that time, unfortunately. Here we are doing the same thing, out route, and we just pass lead outside, out of bounds. That was done. We wanted to pass lead down away from the safety, but look at this lucky SOB. Look at that, double coverage. I was there for the user, and he still gets it. So it's 24-21, unfortunately. As Bell, hesitates. They really should make that better next year. I'm talking about chemistries, and the reason why I don't like this Brown over, like, say, the other ones. Because this one you kind of got to fit into your lineup. You got to, for the high-end guys that can afford a card like this, those other cards, that Pouncey isn't a high-end card. You got to, like, really shoehorn that into the game. I think, like, stadiums and jerseys should add chem for, like, teams. I think players, as we get the user pick to end the game. Madden does seem very adverse to give more than 2 chemistries, it seems, except in extreme cases like the chemistry players are Milestone Pouncey there ahead at center with the Identify and 2 others. But here are the stats here for our team. I guess we'll just talk through this. Antonio Brown, 8 for 178. So needless to say, he had a great debut game. I played with him in another game. He did just as well there. Not this well, but he performed just as well on the passes that I threw his way. And, you know, you're not always going to target a receiver as much as I target this Bell. As we go through his highlights here and just, you know, toe taps in the end zone. Or, sorry, at the sideline. And has great body control there. Whoop! Whoop! I like that animation. Not when it happens against me. There, again, corner route, man coverage, burn it, 99 route running, getting that separation, easy down the sidelines, take that hit, fall. So, yeah, I would say Brown worked out really well. I do like Antonio Brown as a player. I don't know if that biases my opinion on him at all. But let me know if you guys view this card, what you guys' thoughts on it are. Maybe we'll do a video about chemistries. And here he is, taking the hit and hanging on there. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later, guy. See ya.